Hey everybody, Steve DeLaviaga. I am here with one of my favorite people in the world. She has been part of our Rise Nation since the very beginning, almost 20 months now. She's awesome, she's passionate, she's committed, and she is the broker owner of Remax here in Arizona. Miss Melissa Dierks. Melissa, how are you, hon? Thanks for joining us.
I am
Appreciate
wonderful.
you.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate being here.
You're fantastic. Okay, so we're going to jump into it now. We've interviewed a bunch of different partners, EXP, individual brokerages, place, etc. Wanted to get into the deep dive with you and Remax. I know you've been there for such a long time. We lost one of our icons in Arizona in your partner, Delbert Rounds. Delbert was a dear friend and one of the real tragedies of this whole pandemic. But you've continued to flourish, and which he would be proud of, and what in his name to do that. So walk me through, why Remax for you? Why do you think Remax is right for you and the 300 plus agents you've now engaged into your network?
Well, one of the things that I can honestly say, right, is everybody knows Remax, right? I remember traveling from state to state, and, because of course I came from corporate. And so with that, I was constantly, okay, where are we going to go? And with that came, oh, well, who's the best Remax agent there? Who owns that market? And so that brand recognition is always out there. Everybody knows Remax.
You love the bloom. Got it. Okay, good. And for you now, the world shifted a little bit, right? Because brokers, when we were starting back in the day, they were the power stutter. They had, they had coaching and training facilities, et cetera. Now you see a lot of these 100% shops popping up, especially in Arizona, and or the virtuality of a lot of these brokerages. So talk about why, because Remax is a franchise. What's different by Remax? You can go to a Remax 20 miles away, it might be totally different than yours, which I think is one of the things that makes it unique. So walk through with me why your Remax in particular is different, what you do better and different than the other Remaxes, any other brokerages in your network.
Absolutely. So I am part of Remax Find Properties. And one of the things that I really enjoy is, when I think of Remax, I think of professionals. I think of success. I think of, someone who wants to build a career. This isn't a hobby, right? So I wanted to be around the best of the best, right?
I love that.
Yeah, you have to be. If you want to build success, you have to be around others that are doing that same thing. So, Remax Find Properties, we did 1.8 billion last year in sales volume. We are the #1 nationally in a metro area for sales volume for the entire Remax International Network. So that is something just huge to be proud of. And I really wish Del was here to actually celebrate that with us. I mean, he would be so proud, right?
He was a producer-based broker, man. He wanted people that produced. And Remax, as you know, was the real first 100% shop, right? It was the first one that said, it's about you, not about the logo or the brokerage. It's about you, the agent. We're going to celebrate that. Is that what kind of, you take that mantra into your recruiting message with your agents?
I do. And I think because I have the statistics to prove it as well. So as you know, but not others might know, we just opened up a Remax Find Properties on the West Valley.
It's a beautiful office.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. We love it. It actually is at 91st and Union Hills. And this office has already, at the end of May, has already done in sales volume what we did all of last year. So that was just tremendous. I mean, we are seeing agents that have gone 28% to 500% in growth. And that is, due to the trainings, the masterminds, and really engaging with our agents. I take great pride into making sure that every single agent that comes into this office, they are allowed a 1-hour session with me to coach and build their business. And then if they'd like to, 30 minutes a week for the first 3 months, free of charge.
See, I love that. And let's be honest, people say, oh, offices don't matter and virtuality, but you and I both know you put that office in the West Valley. If you build it, people will come. If you build it in the right area, at the right high level, make it a place that professionals and practitioners want to be, which is what you did. That was a gutsy vision. What was your vision? Because in Arizona, there are, 270 brokerages in Maricopa County, and most of them are virtual or 100%. What made you have the courage and then the foresight to go ahead knowing if you built that, they would come?
Well, I'm, of course, as you know, came from corporate. And so
Yes,
for
ma'am.
me, I enjoy the people, the vibe, right? The culture, making sure that we all come together and brainstorm, right? I mean, look at our market. I mean, it is crazy insane. And for our agents to have 28 to 500% growth, it's got to come from somewhere. And so when you can take the agents, we're not right for everybody. Let's be honest. But if you come in and you're ready to share and you're really ready to build and to grow, we want you here. It is something that I thoroughly believe in.
I love that. And I think you do a good job of saying no to more candidates than you say yes to, which I think is an important piece,
I do.
because not everybody suits what you're looking at. All right. So let's look at this. You got does the broker even really matter anymore with the level of training available to agents online and virtual? And does it really matter what your logo is? Can't good agents be successful anywhere? Let me play devil's advocate a second. Tell me why you do or don't agree with that statement.
Okay, so I will tell you, I think it all matters, honestly. I truly do.
Okay,
I
good.
think the brokerage and the people have to align together, right? In order for people to really be successful, when the brokerage and the people align, magic happens, right? Production and growth and success. So when all of that happens, it's a magical moment. But you also, with Remax, when you've got that brand recognition behind you, even if you're a new agent, you've got the brand behind you. It's kind of the silverback ape, right? So
you can tell the story of the brand even until you have your own. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And no matter what, I always tell people, listen, we're partners here, right? It is important that people feel like they are a part of something and they have the backup and the means to do that. And so my brick and mortar brings people here together, a place that they feel that they can come in, they can ask any questions. I believe in rip off and duplicate, right? Tom Ferry says rip off and duplicate. And everybody knows that
He's 100% right.
Yeah, absolutely. We should all be here for success. And when you think about it, right, you don't go to McDonald's for fine dining, you go to Mastro's. So when you look at things, the reason why Remax is who we are, we've got that level of respectability, we have that level of success, and we teach people how to get there. Again, it's back to career versus hobby.
I love it. Good message, good story. Okay, let's get into this. You've seen, EXP is the fastest growing company in America. You saw Keller Williams shoot up and they're still growing at 180,000 agents. Remax plateaued a little bit here in the US and then started growing internationally more. What do you think over the next 3 years? Does Remax as a whole grow? And I know what you're going to say with you, and I agree. And are you able to grow? You guys are at 300 agents. Where are you guys in the next 2 or 3 years? The same, up, or down based on agent count and growth and volume?
Right. I believe we're going to grow. I think we're going to grow leaps and bounds. I mean, this is our first office in the West.
Let's first, you think nationally Remax or just you Remax? Talking about both.
I think both. I think Remax is making some changes to compete, right? We have some of the new artificial intelligence, some of the new tools. We're working very hard internationally to make things competitive for our agents. As far as locally, I think, I'm one of those who believe in growth. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? And so I'm one of those who might, you've got to have the right person, the right people. And I'm one of those individuals who look at growth sometimes differently. I don't always think that it's about agent count. I think it's about production and those people making money, right? I mean, I can have 34 or 35 agents here, right? We do all of what we did last year by the end of May, have those types of numbers. And then even Remax Fine Properties as a whole, we did 1.8 billion in sales last year. We have already surpassed 1.1 this year. So we are on the fast track of growing even further. So when you look at what does growth mean, growth is different to every person, right? And every brokerage and every leader.
I want to unpack a little bit of what you said. I love it. I think people forget this. What's attractive to people about wanting to be involved is growth. Growth is attractive. Number two, I think this is a huge problem in the industry. We count stats that don't matter, right? We count like, oh, what's our agent count? Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a shit what your agent count is? What is your production? What is the growth of the agents that have been in your company 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? See, those are the stats that are meaningful. That means you're serving more consumers. Mm-hmm. You're getting better at your business of real estate, because let's be honest, too many people are in hobbies, to use your term, and you're right. This is a business. No one would go to a knee doctor and go, hey, can you give me a point off your deal? Right? We'll go research knee doctors for 6 months, go to the best doctor you can possibly find and pay his fee, because it's a profession. And real estate has really got to move, and it's starting to. And some of the hedge funds and the interlopers and the other ecosystems have made it's very hard now for a single agent with no tools, no system, no assistance, no tribe or network to get involved with to be able to be a true practitioner of real estate. It's very impossible, don't you think?
I agree 100%. One of the things that we've implemented as a brokerage is we now have a trainer on board. And this trainer has done national training for a previous company. And so when you look at that, why did we do that? We did that so that our agents really have the best tools, right? We want to make sure that CRMs are discussed, right? Remax has Booge, but Booge isn't set up at this point for a team. So when you look at that, okay, well, what's that best practice for a team? I mean, Steve, you and I both have gone through, right? I'm a follow-up boss. I do my YLOPO. You have been my partner for 10 plus years. You know, when you have these types of tools in an office and you have the right network, you know, I'm sharing that with my team and with everyone here. And when you do that and you see people go from that executive level of 50,000, and then in 1 year they're hitting a 250. I have 2 of them doing it. It is
in GCI. Yep.
It is so exciting, and it changes lives. I'm here. I want to change lives. That's, you know, that's the point of growth, right? And I always tell people this as well, right? When you talk about the consumer, I am all about the consumer. I'm like, listen, if you treat the people right, the money comes, period.
One of those things that I'm so impressed by you continually and proud to be in relationship with you is you pivot very quickly when you see a better place to go to. Mm-hmm. And you and I think that is a strength that comes from people like yourself who don't come from real estate. Because that saying of, we've always done it this way, I'm not going to kick a winning horse in the ass, this is what I do that works. What I love about you is, Mel, you're always looking for better. And you were on a CRM. We found a better one. You interviewed the agents that had it. Now you've moved. Now you've saved money and it's better, right? The key is to pivot. How do you coach agents in your network? Because you're right. You are an open source. You share best in class and best practices. How do you coach agents on being able to pivot? Because real estate, one thing that's guaranteed, it's the only thing that's guaranteed, is change. And it's coming fast and regularly. How do you coach them on pivoting?
And I tell them that, right? So I'm like, listen, there are different ways to pivot. There are different ways to change. What do you need to change? Some people need to change their systems and tools. Some people need to change what systems are they using for lead generation, right? I mean, not everybody can door knock. Not everybody likes open houses. You know, I'm one of those goofy ones who loves those online leads, right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I love, you know, my past clients' referrals. How do we touch them better, right? It's teaching all of those agents individually, what is their niche, right, Steve? What is their specific niche? So in my personal opinion, it was one of those things that I was missing. You know, one of those items, which is why I did the Tom Ferry, why I partnered with you, is because I want that innovation, right? It is definitely key for all of us to continue growth. And if you don't have leaders around you, you're not going to have that, and you're not going to have the access to that.
This is one of the things I think, Mel, regardless of what brokerage you're in, too many times the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And too many times the leader is so far removed from the market of the moment. They haven't been in a living room in 12 years. They haven't sold a house in 15 years. What I love about you is you had 2 closings this morning, and we're doing this podcast now. You're actually doing it as we speak. So when you tell someone, I know this works, you know it works. You're not talking about cold calling the yellow pages, white page, which probably works too. Is it the best use of time, the best use of expense? That's where I mean your ability to pivot and be a leader in the market of the moment. How much is that a competitive advantage for you when you're talking to agents to recruit them and retain them?
I think it's huge, right? All of our leadership here at Remax Fine Properties is in the trenches every day. So myself, Jamie, Sandy, all of us are in the trenches with each of our agents. And one of the things that I take great pride in is that we don't compete with our agents, right? If I am in an appointment and Stacy Miller were to come and she's right there, and I find out that she's interviewing with the same individual, well, Stacy, now they have 2 for 1, right?
Right.
We are in the trenches. And I think that's key, right? We have to be leaders. We have to know what's going on out there. And we also have to protect our agents. We also have to educate them appropriately. We have a broker that is just phenomenal in Sandy Carpin, Jamie Wong, who is just phenomenal at, just a vision of where
still produces at a very high level, like yourself, in the fight every day, selling and buying homes. I mean, it matters.
It does.
All right, let's go to this. So there are the interlopers into our business. Zillow, which I argue is not a technology company, they're a real estate company. They're a broker, they have title, they have mortgage, they have agents that work for them now. Redfin, Open Door, similar model, OfferPad, similar model. What do you think about the interlopers? They're taking more share on a regular basis. Do you see them as a threat or opportunity? How do you view that?
I think they have a place. Okay, I really do. There are people in need that need to have that immediate satisfaction, right? That something has happened in their lives that they need to get rid of a property quick, right? Mm-hmm. Something in that aspect, I think they hold a place for, but their market share isn't in the masses. Let's be honest, they are a very small portion. If you ask people, who do you trust? Who do you trust? They're going to go back to the agent. They are going to go back to that one-on-one individual who worked with them to make sure that they were protected, that will work for them to get more. I've seen 2, go ahead.
No, this is an important point, Mel. Let's not brush over this, because I say this all the time. Zillow's great, but Zillow's trying to make a deal for Zillow.
Yes.
Open Door is trying to make a deal for Open Door. You, representing the customer, are going to show them all their options and be their fiduciary. And if the best thing is Zillow, you'll recommend it. But you want somebody in that transaction that's going to give you all the options, then give you knowledge and advice on those, so as a consumer can make the most informed and engaged decision. Too many times realtors just try to push their version. It's like, hey, show them all the versions and let them make an informed, engaged decision.
Well, and I've come across a situation where I went into the interview, and it was a young gentleman who had bought a condo. He was being relocated, and the offer that one of the iBuyers had provided him, I looked at him and I said, listen, I can do about the same. But if you want the convenience, if you want to pick your own date, they may be that person. Now, mind you, that was about 3 months ago, a little longer.
World changes.
Our sellers are doing whatever they want now. But you have to look at all those options, right? Well, I think that some of the frustration out there is seeing some of the fees that are being charged. It's not necessarily a commission, it's a fee. So it can confuse the consumer. So again, it's back to the education.
Well, and that's where you, being the fiduciary, you can tell them the truth. And this goes, listen to this. This is how long you been in real estate, Mel? 25 years, 20 years? How long?
11 years.
15? 11. Okay. This is why you're so special. 11 years, and you're smart enough to say there is a place for that. Too many people say, oh, it doesn't work. They don't make any money. Don't listen to them. I got news for you. 6% of the market is going that direction. And that's that's $100 to $400 billion business right there, right? Don't tell me there is a place for it. It's going to continue. It's not going to get less, as you and I know. It's going to get more. And you're right. The more you educate the consumer on their options, the more they like and trust you. I always say this: what's your return on relationships? We talk about ROI. This is ROR, return on relationships. You help that customer, and Zillow's the best option. I'll guarantee you that young man said to you, "Great. Who can you recommend for me in my relocation? What agent would you trust over here in Nashville if that's where I'm going?" You have a way to now build a relationship rapport. That person goes in your database. You continue to stay in touch. They might come back to Arizona. They might have a friend that's moving. You've kept the relationship side, and that ROR, return on relationship, matters. And that's something that the iBuyers really can't do unless you let them, by not having any systems or model or relationship-based CRM afterwards, correct?
Oh, 100%. I can tell you, I literally just this year alone have had 6 referrals come in. 6.
I love it. That's awesome.
And it's because you take care of the client. I can tell you 4 out of those 6 are from past clients. And so I reach out to my network, right? You reach out to my Remax colleagues, my Tom Ferry colleagues.
You mean 6 referrals outside of Arizona where you have to, yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm getting paid for those. Well over 20,000, right? I mean, come on, if you stay in touch with people and you know, if they're moving out of state and they've rented their home, they still want to buy another home, right?
It's one of the biggest reasons why I'm always advocating have a large sphere of referral partners. You're in our program with Realtor.com, OpCity, Ojo, Movoto, Prime Seller Leads, Realty.com. You know how important that is, because once you bring them in and you pay 1 referral fee, that client becomes yours for life. And you can engage that client and get referrals. You've done that already in this program year to date. You've gotten a referral that you paid Realtor.com on for referring. That person turns around, refers you 2 more people that you are 100% yours. It's just another way to acquire a client. You would have never had that client have it not been for your relationship with Realtor.com or Movoto. And that's why it's important to have it, correct?
I agree. And I believe in having multiple pillars of business, right? You and I have talked about this on many occasions that, too many people get stuck with 1 or 2, and then they do this, right? The ebbs and the flows. And you have to have that consistency of how many things do I have in the pipeline? You've got to keep that pipeline full. And if you have the right partners, you keep it full.
I always say this: to sit on a 1-legged stool, if that leg gets slow or wobbles, you fall on your butt. If you got 4 legs on that stool and one of those 4 isn't great, you're still able to make sure that you can sit comfortably and you can balance on the other 3. Well said. Okay, right, but we're going to go into closing in a second. But my last question, which is always a little tough, but I got to get an answer from you. If you were at any other brokerage and you couldn't be Remax, what would it be and why?
Oh.
Most people say they'd be independent, but I'm giving you an out, but you can say whatever you'd like.
Honestly, I actually, I probably would. I'd probably start my own, only because I have interviewed so many different brokerages, right? That you truly have to find what's best for you. And I think at this point, with everything that I have put into this brokerage and to the knowledge and the partners, that I truly believe that it would be my own, because there are so many. I've come to learn that I like doing my thing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I've always been a Remax girl. I left it for a very, very short time, as you know, and came back to the brand because what I was promised did not happen. But I will tell you, I believe, gosh, Steve, putting me on that. Wow. No, but I really do.
I know.
It would be.
So that's my favorite questions. It's the toughest one. Well, and let me tell you something. You know why it would work for you to be Melissa Dierks Inc. brokerage? Because your passion is infectious. And the truth is, if you weren't passionate about Remax, you would leave and do your own thing, because without that passion, you can't be great. And I love that brokerage business. You have to be passionate to be in it, because if you're not, believe me, no one else is, right? So you bring that passion, it's infectious, and it makes people greater. All right. In closing, one thing or two things you'd like everyone to know about Remax, and in particular Remax Fine Properties, where you are the broker owner and the influencer of choice. Tell me.
I'd say I believe in making people successful. I really do. It really is my passion, is to see people grow and to share. I was very fortunate that I came from, a company full of mentors when I worked corporate. And so they took me from, getting coffee to being a
Yep.
senior VP, right? And so I love changing the lives of others. So if there's one thing that I feel that Remax Fine Properties is dedicated to, I would say it's your growth, right?
I love it. That is such a great statement. And one thing committed to is growth. And by the way, growth is the most attractive thing in real estate, because if you're growing, people want to know how and why. And the fact that you share is awesome. I also want to say something personally. Please thank your son for us for his service. I know he's in our military as a first responder, and I know how proud you are of him, and we all are that knew him and watched what he's done. So congrats, and also congrats to your beautiful daughter who's now in real estate. And by the way, she's going to make a ton more money. So as soon as he serves, he's going to get his butt over here and make some money with it. So,
he already has said it. He says, Mom, he said, when I'm done with the military, I'm heading straight for your team. I said, good boy.
Well, you have proven, Miss Melissa, you take people from just a job to a career, and your growth, especially in the West Valley, what you've done with your office, it's just so much fun to have you in our Rise Nation, to be a partner. And by the way, one of the best representations of Remax I speak to all over the United States. You are truly one of the best. So thank you for being who you are. Love you. Much appreciated.
Just know, Steve, we're not done growing on the West Valley yet.
Oh, my dear, I have no doubt about that. No,
well, thank you,
no
Steve.
doubt about that. So congrats on your success.
Thank you.